Hey guys, first off I want to apologize for this robot voice, but my microphone is really bad and I don't want to deafen you. In this video I will give you 10 tips that will aid you in losing weight in 2019. New year, new you. However, if you want to know the easiest and fastest way to lose weight this year, check out the link in the description below. 1. Choose a low-carb diet. If you want to lose weight you should start by avoiding sugar and starch like bread, pasta and potatoes. This is an old idea. For 150 years or more there have been a huge number of weightless diets based on eating fewer carbs. What's new is that dozens of modern scientific studies have proven that, yes, low carb is the most effective way to lose weight. Obviously, it's still possible to lose weight on any diet. Just eat fewer calories than you burn, right? The problem with this simplistic advice is that it ignores the elephant in the room: hunger. Most people don't like to just eat less. That is being hungry forever. That's dieting for masochists. Sooner or later, a normal person will give up and eat. Hence the prevalence of yo-yo dieting. The main advantage of the low-carb diet is that it causes you to want to eat less. Even without counting calories, most overweight people eat far fewer calories on low-carb. Sugar and starch may increase your hunger, while avoiding them may decrease your appetite to an adequate level. If your body wants to have an appropriate number of calories you don't need to bother counting them. Thus calories count, but you don't need to count them. A 2012 study also showed that people on a low-carb diet burned 300 more calories a day, while resting. According to one of the Harvard professors behind the study, this advantage would equal the number of calories typically burned in an hour of moderate-intensity physical activity. Imagine that, an entire bonus hour of exercise every day, without actually exercising. A later, even larger and more carefully conducted study confirmed the effect, with different groups of people on low-carb diets burning an average of between 200 and almost 500 extra calories per day. 2. Eat when hungry. Avoiding both carbs and fat results in hunger, cravings and fatigue. Sooner or later people can't stand it and give up. The solution is to eat more natural fat until you feel satisfied. Always eat enough, so that you feel satisfied, especially in the beginning of the weightless process. Doing this on a low-carb diet means that the fat you eat will be burned as fuel by your body. As your levels of the fat-storing hormone insulin will be lowered, you'll become a fat-burning machine. You'll lose excess weight without hunger. Do you still fear saturated fat? Don't. The fear of saturated fat is based on obsolete theories that have been proven incorrect by modern science. Butter is a fine food. However, feel free to eat mostly unsaturated fat if you prefer. This could be called a Mediterranean low-carb diet and works great too. Eating when hungry also implies something else. If you're not hungry you probably don't need to eat yet. When on a keto diet you can trust your feelings of hunger and satiety again. Feel free to eat as many times per day that works best for you. Some people eat 3 times a day and occasionally snack in between. Note that frequent snacking could mean that you'd benefit from adding fat to your meals, to increase satiety. Some people only eat once or twice a day and never snack. Whatever works for you, just eat when you're hungry. 3. Eat real food. Another common mistake when eating a low-carb diet is getting fooled by the creative marketing of special low-carb products. Remember, an effective low-carb diet for weight loss should be based on real food. Real food is what humans have been eating for thousands or millions of years. For example, meat, fish, vegetables, eggs, butter, olive oil, nuts etc. If you want to lose weight, you'd better avoid special low-carb products that are full of carbs. This should be obvious. But creative marketers are doing all they can to fool you and get your money. They will tell you that you can eat cookies, pasta, ice cream, bread and plenty of chocolate on a low-carb diet, as long as you buy their brand. They're full of carbohydrates. Don't be fooled. How about low-carb bread? Be careful. If it's baked with grains it's certainly not low-carb, but some companies still try to sell it to you as a low-carb option. Low-carb chocolate is usually full of sugar alcohols, which the manufacturer does not count as carbs, but roughly half of these carbs may be absorbed, raising blood sugar and insulin. The remaining carbs end up in the colon, potentially causing gas and diarrhea. Furthermore, any sweeteners can maintain sugar cravings. 4. Eat only when hungry by limiting unnecessary snacking. Unnecessary snacking can be a problem on a keto diet too. Some things are easy to eat just because they're tasty and readily available. Here are 3 common traps to watch out for on a keto or low-carb diet. Dairy products such as cream and cheeses. They work well in cooking as they satisfy. The problem is if you're munching a lot of cheese in front of the TV in the evening without being hungry. Be careful with that. Or lots of cream with dessert, when you're actually already full and just keep eating because it tastes good. Or another common culprit, loads of heavy cream in the coffee, many times per day. Nuts. It's very easy to eat until the nuts are gone, regardless of how full you are. A tip according to science: salted nuts are harder to stop eating than unsalted nuts. Salted nuts tempt you to more overeating. Good to know. Another tip: avoid bringing the entire bag to the couch. Preferably choose a small bowl instead. I often eat all the nuts in front of me, whether I'm hungry or not. Low-carb baking. Even if you're only using almond flour and sweeteners, snacking on baked goods and cookies usually provides additional eating when you're not hungry, and yes, this will slow down weight loss. Feel free to skip meals. Do you have to eat breakfast? No, of course not. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And this goes for any meal on a strict keto diet. The hunger and urge to eat tend to decrease a lot, especially if you have excess weight to lose. Your body may be happily burning your fat stores, reducing the need to eat. If this happens, be happy. Don't fight it by eating food you don't want. Instead, wait for the hunger to return before you eat again. This will save you both time and money, while speeding up your weight loss. Some people fear that they will lose control if they don't eat every 3 hours, thus making them eat thousands of calories and blowing their diets completely. So they obsessively snack all the time. This obsessive snacking may be necessary on a diet high in sugar, processed carbs to control hunger cravings, but it's usually completely unnecessary on a keto diet. Hunger will only slowly return and you'll have plenty of time to prepare food or grab a snack. 5. Measure your progress wisely. Tracking successful weight loss is sometimes trickier than you think. Focusing only on weight and stepping on the scale every day might be misleading, cause unnecessary anxiety, and undermine your motivation for no good reason. The scale is not necessarily your friend. You may want to lose fat, but the scale measures muscles, bone and internal organs as well. Gaining muscle is a good thing. Thus weight or BMI are imperfect ways to measure your progress. This is especially true if you're just coming off a long period of semi-starvation, as your body may want to restore lost muscles, etc. Starting weight training and gaining muscle can also hide your fat loss. Losing fat and gaining muscles means great progress, but you may miss this if you only measure your weight. Thus it's smart to also track the disappearance of your belly fat by measuring your waist circumference. 6. Be persistent. It usually takes years or decades to gain a lot of weight. Trying to lose it all as quickly as possible by starving yourself rarely works well long term. That's just a recipe for yo-yo dieting. To succeed, you need something that works long term. What to aim for? It's common to lose 26 pounds or 1 to 3 kilograms within the first week on a strict low-carb diet, and then on average about 1 pound or 0.5 kilograms per week as long as you have a lot of weight remaining to lose. This translates into about 50 pounds or 23 kilos per year. Every 5 pounds of fat loss roughly equals 1 inch lost around the waist. 1 kilo equals 1 centimeter. Young males sometimes lose weight faster than this, perhaps twice as fast. Postmenopausal women may lose at a slightly slower pace. People on a very strict low-carb diet may lose weight quicker, as well as those who exercise a lot. And if you have an enormous amount of excess weight to lose, you could start out much faster. As you get closer to your ideal weight, the loss may slow down, until you stabilize at a weight that your body feels is right. Very few people become underweight on a low-carb diet, as long as they eat when hungry. 7. Avoid eating fruit. This piece of advice is controversial as fruit has an almost magical health aura today. People may believe that fruit is nutritious, but unfortunately fruit contains a lot of sugar, around 10 by weight. The rest is mostly water. Just taste an orange or a grape. Sweet, right? 5 servings of fruit per day are equivalent to the amount of sugar in 16 ounces or 500 milliliters of soda. Contrary to what many people believe, the sugar is more or less identical. About 50 glucose, 50 fructose sugar from fruit can shut down fat burning. This can increase your hunger and slow your weight loss. For best results, avoid fruit, or enjoy it occasionally as a treat. Bottom line is that fruit is candy from nature. 8. Avoid artificial sweeteners. Many people replace sugar with artificial sweeteners in the belief that this will reduce their calorie intake and cause weight loss. It sounds plausible. Several studies, however, have failed to show any positive effect on weight loss by consuming artificial sweeteners instead of plain sugar instead. According to scientific studies, artificial sweeteners can increase appetite and maintain cravings for sweet food. And one recent independent study showed that switching drinks with artificial sweeteners to water clearly helped women lose weight. This could be because the body increases insulin secretion in anticipation that sugar will appear in the blood. When this doesn't happen, blood sugar drops and hunger increases. Whether this chain of events regularly takes place is somewhat unclear. Something odd happened when I tested Pepsi Max though, and there are well-designed studies showing increased insulin when using artificial sweeteners. Furthermore, artificial sweeteners can maintain an addiction to sweets and lead to snack cravings, and the long-term effects of consuming artificial sweeteners are unknown. Studies claiming to show neutral or positive effects of sweeteners are usually funded by the beverage industry. By the way, stevia is marketed as a natural alternative to artificial sweeteners. That's marketing talk. There is nothing natural about a processed supersweet white powder like stevia. If you're having trouble losing weight, I suggest that you completely avoid sweeteners. As a bonus, you'll soon start to enjoy the natural sweetness of real food, once you're no longer adapted to the overpowering artificial sweetness of junk food and diet sodas. 9. Stress less, sleep more. Have you ever wished for more hours of sleep, and a less stressful life in general? Most people have. Stress and lack of sleep can be bad news for their weight. Chronic stress may increase levels of stress hormones such as cortisol in your body. This can cause increased hunger and result in weight gain. If you're looking to lose weight, you should review possible ways to decrease or better handle excessive stress in your life. Although this often demands substantial changes, even altering small things, such as posture, may immediately affect your stress hormone levels, and perhaps your weight. You should also make an effort to get enough good sleep, preferably every night. Strive to wake up refreshed of your own accord, independently of the alarm clock. If you're the kind of person who always gets brutally woken up by the alarm ringing, you might never be giving your body adequate rest. One way to combat this is to go to bed early enough for your body to wake up autonomously before the alarm clock goes off. Letting yourself get a good night's sleep is another way of reducing stress hormone levels. Sleep deprivation, on the other hand, comes hand in hand with sugar cravings. It also has an adverse effect on self-discipline and makes it painfully easy to give in to temptation. It's no coincidence that induced sleep deprivation is a common interrogation technique. Similarly, sleep deprivation weakens your resolve to work out. 10. Eat less of dairy products and nuts. Can you eat as much as you like and still lose weight? Yes, it tends to work just fine with a low-carbohydrate diet, as appetite regulation happens effortlessly. However, despite the fact that a low-carbohydrate diet generally makes it easy to eat just enough, there are foods classified as low-carb which become a problem in larger quantities. If you find yourself having a hard time losing weight on a low-carb diet, you could try to be more careful with dairy products like yogurt, cream and cheese, as well as nuts. Dairy products contain varying amounts of lactose, which slows down weight loss. What's more, part of the protein in milk generates a significant insulin response, which can have the same effect. Consequently, cutting back on dairy products may accelerate weight loss. This applies especially to dairy products typically lacking in fat, such as regular milk and various yogurts. But be careful with full-fat dairy such as cream and cheese all the same. And don't forget whey protein powder, which is pure milk protein. Exempt from all these dairy product warnings is butter, which is almost pure fat. Butter may be consumed liberally as desired. Nuts, the second food to watch, contain a fair amount of carbohydrate, and it's very easy to unwittingly scarf down large quantities. Cashew nuts are among the worst carb-wise. you'll find that they contain around 20 carbohydrates by weight. For someone following a strict keto diet with a 20 grams of carbs per day allowance, this means that consuming 100 grams will have filled their daily quota. Peanuts tend to be around 1015 carbohydrate, not putting them in the clear either. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, if you want to know the best way to lose weight in 2019, check the link in the description. Subscribe for more videos.